Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, a day in the life of a Manatee writer. Most of our writers, they have full-time jobs or part-time jobs, so they would probably write the article over their coffee break or their lunchtime, or write it at home late at night and go about the rest of their lives. For Shauna and I, it's a little different because we're both freelancers and work from home. Um, right now, I guess I can't really answer for myself because all my time is dedicated into our documentary and some of our video work. But I can say that for Shauna, wake up, look at what articles people have submitted, and copy edit those articles. And Shauna will usually write at least 1 or 2 articles a day for herself. She'll peruse all of the local news sources to see what's going on in current affairs. Is there anything that could be satirized? Maybe there's something that everyone's covering a certain way, and we think that there's a big angle that they've missed. So how do we tie that viewpoint into something funny that's still entertaining for people? And once you post the article, you hope people actually read it, and if they do, and you see that a lot of people are reacting, either they think it's funny or they get mad because they think it's real, then you feel pretty good about yourself, and you start the next day over doing the same thing. What we've discovered is that the most popular stories are usually ones that are very topical and relevant. So if we can get a story about current affairs the day of or the day after, those stories do really well. So recently, Donald Trump won the US presidential election, and we had a few stories about his win, some stories about while he was running, and we were able to actually reshare old stories. And it was so popular that our site crashed for a little while. So it's the stuff that is about current affairs really does well. Yeah, the other thing I should say is that stories that are kind of like inside jokes of Maritimers or New Brunswickers, those tend to do pretty well. Things that everyone likes to joke about in person, and then if they see it online in the form of like a news article, that makes it funnier, and people love to share that kind of stuff too. We would really like it if we could work with big media outlets or other satire sites in a way that would be mutually beneficial. We've approached a few networks and tried to pitch like a Manatee TV show. So far there hasn't been any interest, and with satirical TV shows, there's a lot of content out there, so the competition's pretty stiff, and we're seeing other Canadian websites are already making their own. So as far as other satire sites, right now, I believe that it's fair to say that we are the biggest satirical news website in the Maritimes, and there's other satirical news websites that cover all of Canada. We haven't really worked out any partnerships or agreements with them, but maybe down the road that could be something that would be helpful, and it could, expose our fans to their content and expose their fans to ours. But I would really love it if we could get in with some big news organizations like CBC, CTV Global, to have any kind of like comedic segment where we could produce video or radio or written content. I think that would be really helpful. It would open us up to a wider audience. It would hopefully open up more doors for getting more funding so that we could really grow the site even more. We really, really want to grow our video content, and I'm the one who does our videos, and Shauna will work with me. She'll usually write the scripts, and I'll make some adjustments and add some stuff, and then we get our writers and our friends to act in it and that kind of stuff. And my dream would be if my full-time job could just be making satirical videos every day. That would be pretty awesome. So we have a YouTube channel, and we've done some video content. We've had some really successful videos, like our New Brunswick Man GPS voice video. In its first few days, got over 100,000 views, which was pretty good. But the problem with all this is that without sponsorships or something like that, it still doesn't make enough money to really justify the time that we put into it. So that video with 100,000 views earned us $500, I think, from the ad revenue, which, it might sound like that's a lot of money, but when you look at all the time you put into it, the expenses of the gear, everyone else's time, paying your rent and all that stuff, $500 isn't really enough to live off of. So we'd have to be making videos very frequently. And again, that goes back into hopefully maybe finding sponsored content or even putting an ad for a local business at the front or at the end that would allow us to do that. So doing video is something that we really want to be able to do more of. And hopefully now we're going to have a bit more free time soon. We'll be able to do more videos and maybe pursue any opportunities that pop up. Let's see. Well, I guess some stuff that we've done is that, like, a lot of people still say that, like, the Manatee is just like a source spewing negativity. So when we do any articles, like announcements about the website or stuff in the form of an article, we're trying to satirize ourselves. So we usually talk about ourselves like we are an evil corporation. We like to refer to ourselves as like an evil corporation and that kind of stuff, because we're actually just two people in our apartment, and with a whole bunch of volunteer writers sending stories over the internet. So usually we pretend that, like, we think of ourselves as a big, legitimate, serious news source. And usually, I guess the joke is that we're actually, like I said, two people in our apartment doing it for fun and to try to make people laugh.